everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sahar and this is another Storytime Tuesday, hashtag Storytime Tuesday. Today I'm going to be talking about a Shadowman. Now before anything else, I do have a lip swatch video of the Maybelline Super Stay Matte Inks and I'll be linking it up here. I believe I'm right. It's here. Nah, I think it's here. I'm going to be talking about something that I experienced when I was in third year high school. We have lit our Storytime Tuesday candle and now let's just get into the story. I was in third year high school and during this time I was one of the representatives to go to a cultural exchange celebration in a different country in Japan. My school has like sister schools, so we have like a bunch of different sister schools all throughout the country, and we decided to meet in my school. I don't know why my school, but yay, my school, and that's where we practiced all our dances, our cultural dances and everything. Which we were going to be taking to Japan and presenting to the whole of the celebration. And so we did that for a few months, and it was like always around after school. So after school is like 5 o'clock, but we also have like extracurricular activities, so we start around 7 or 8 p.m. and then we stay in the quadrangle. My school was like composed of three main buildings, one to one side, very long. That's where my other story time, where I was chased by a ghost, happened. Another one which is taller. This is where the high school people go to, like this is the high school building. And then another small building for the faculty and the offices and the library. The quadrangle was like in the middle, and we were there in the middle. We had to do practices per batch, so the rest of them were like going around the quadrangle, you know, running around, looking around, because they were not from my school. I noticed they were all together, like maybe 5 or 6 of them were like together, bunched up together, looking up into the tall building, the high school building. And they were like pointing at something on the 4th or 3rd level. I think that was the 4th level or the 3rd level, I can't remember. This building is, it's secure because it's just a lone building. You can't go in or out in any other way except through the faculty building. There's like a connection, there's like a bridgeway. But the door there is always closed at 5 o'clock. Always. It's like a standard protocol. You have to close the door at 5 o'clock. Because that bridgeway leads to the exit. And they also have a gate at the very bottom, which is also locked. And this was like a standard protocol every single day. I knew that nobody was up there, nobody could have been up there, not even the janitors were up there. It was like around like 9 or 10 o'clock already at night. So I approached them and they were pointing up, and I was like, maybe they can see some lights. And so I approached them and they were like, hey Sahar, do you see that up there? What is that? It looks like somebody's up there. Is that a guard? There's like, can you see the shadow? And I was like, I looked up and I saw it. I don't remember it vividly anymore, but I did see a very tall man. I assume it's a man. He was not thin. It was not a slender man situation. He was big boned, in my opinion, because we were very far and he was very, very tall. And he was not slim, and he was not like super big, super thin. He was like right smack in the center. And he just appeared to be standing there. Just like that. So we were staring up and he was just like standing there, and it appeared to be him standing there and watching us from above, or maybe he was looking into the classroom, just standing there still, but he was standing still. And I saw this, and we all saw it, and I was trying to, you know, rationalize, trying to see maybe there's like a cardboard cutout or something. I was trying to rationalize it because I didn't want to accept that it was what it was. And so they were like, what is that? What is that? And then I said, nah, that's just the guard or the janitor. They roam around sometimes, because I didn't want to scare them. And I did not tell them that there was actually a story behind that. I was in 5th grade when I first attended that school. Ever since I attended that school, that building always had a story. they would say that on a certain floor there was a man there who would stare down. He was a shadow there who would stare at you from that whatever room, that whatever floor that was. And I would hear this from multiple people, and I never really took it to heart because, I mean, come on, a shadow person staring from you from the, nah, this doesn't make sense. And for me to actually experience that, it was just like, oh my gosh, everything that they have been telling me, it came from somewhere. And whoever this person was, the origin of this story, they experienced it, and now we are too. And I didn't tell that to my friends because I was scared that they wouldn't want to come back and practice there, and I didn't want to freak them out too much, and it was really late, and I didn't want to, go to conclusions that, oh, it is a ghost, it is an entity, because I am not like that. I'm just like trying to be rational about it. But that really creeped me out because isn't it weird that there's a story that you don't believe, and then when you experience it, you're like, you go back to that story and you're like, oh my gosh, I felt it too, I saw it too, I experienced it too. And that's exactly what I felt, or what I thought. That was just really creepy. And what's even creepier is that's not the only thing we experienced in that building. So during this time I was in 3rd year high school, but that was not our building. We were in a different building. We were in the long building. But when I turned 4th year, in my 4th year of high school, I think we transferred to that building. I can't really remember very well, but we were in the highest floor. I think we were in the 4th or the 5th floor, whatever was the highest floor. And so this building had classrooms outside and inside. Outside, there's like a balcony. So there are 2 classrooms side by side. One of the classrooms was like inside the building, and then the other classroom was outside. There's like a balcony along the classroom, and then there's like a bathroom at the end. So if you want to go to the bathroom, the other class, whoever was in the other class, the classroom outside, would see you walking, and they would be like judging you if you took too long, if you know what I'm saying. So there was this big door that would close to close off the building from the open area. I remember we were in English class and we were in the classroom inside of the building, and one of my English teachers, he was talking about his wife who had passed away, and then all of a sudden the door slammed shut. It slammed so freaking loudly and so freaking strongly, and it was so creepy because he had just been talking about his wife who had passed away. Okay, and another thing that happened was, I have a friend, her name is Angela, and she went to the bathroom, to the very end of the bathroom, and she was there. She was taking her time. She was taking a pretty long time, and we were like, she's really taking a long time. Like, it was unusual how much time she took in the bathroom. I'm not judging. And then all of a sudden there was this commotion coming from the classroom next to us, the one outside, the one along the balcony nearest the bathroom. There was this commotion. Somebody was crying, and then people were like cuddled up, and the people were like, oh my gosh, they were talking and talking. And then Angela came out, and what had happened to her was so messed up. So she went in the bathroom, and it was weird because this bathroom has a lock outside and it has a lock inside. She went into the middle cubicle, I believe, and after she did her business, somebody locked her from the outside. Here's the thing. Okay, she at first I think she was like, oh, it's just a prank, somebody's there, open. But it was like more than 5 minutes, more than 10 minutes. She was just screaming. She started screaming and crying for help because somebody had locked her from the outside. And we were trying to figure out who did this, who went out. But nobody went out to go to the bathroom during that time. And we would know because you can't just go out. You have to ask permission from the teacher. We also asked the other section, and none of them went to the bathroom at that time. So she was alone in there. And that was just, imagine the fear of being trapped or locked in a bathroom, and you know that you did not lock yourself. I mean, physically impossible to lock yourself from the outside, because it was like one of those latch thingies. And that was just real. I can't imagine how scared she was at that point. I also remember like little things, like for example, I washed my hands and I closed the faucet. That's always my habit. I never leave the faucet on. It's like I hate wasting water. So I closed it and then I went out. And then somebody came to the bathroom after me. She was like, so how you didn't turn off the faucet? And I was like, no, I turned the faucet off. I never leave it on. And she was like, well, somebody left it on and you were the last person in there. And it was creepy because, okay, maybe that I could still understand. It's possibly my fault. But Angela being locked from the outside, that dark figure we saw, those two I can't seem to rationalize. Because the door slamming could have been the wind. Me forgetting, I could have forgotten to turn off the faucet. But that shadow and the locking from the outside, those two were just like, I don't know. Here's the last thing. This is actually I should have mentioned this the very first time. Before all of this activity happened and before I experienced all of these activities, I remember, I don't know if I was in elementary, I think I was, maybe 6th grade, maybe freshman, I can't remember. It was after school, it was around 6 or 7, and I was downstairs chilling, waiting for my mom to arrive, waiting to be picked up, and all of a sudden, there were people coming down. They were crying. They were going down the stairs. They were going down the stairs. They were crying so hard. And I was like, wait, what happened? What happened? Did somebody get hurt? Is everybody okay? And they didn't want to tell me what was happening. I was personally really afraid that something bad had happened. Physically, like somebody got hurt or something, but nobody did. What had happened, I learned eventually, was they were all playing a game called Spirit of the something. I'm not sure if it was Spirit of the Glass, Spirit of the Coin, something, I don't know. And they had put a ball pen in the center. And they had closed all the windows, closed all the doors, closed everything in that specific classroom. And they were doing the, Spirit of the whatever. I don't know how to play it. I never played it. And when they asked a question, like, I'm not sure what question they asked, like maybe, is anybody here, or are you this person? The ball pen suddenly moved. Now, I would understand if the ball pen was like, for example, if this ball pen had been standing this way and it moved, I would understand because it's not even. But if the ball pen had been standing this way and then suddenly it moved, I would not understand that. Like, I'd have no rational explanation for that unless there's an earthquake or something. But anyway, regardless, the ball pen moved after they had asked the question, and they were all creeped out about it, and then they were all crying. And ever since that day, it seemed to have opened some kind of portal maybe, or a spirit may have been released or something, I don't know. But ever since that day, creepy things have been happening more like frequently. So I hope you guys enjoyed the story time. I have another one posting next week, and I'm doing this every Tuesday, Storytime Tuesdays, and it's going to be a series on my channel. Once I'm done with all my stories, I'm going to have to research other people's stories. If you have stories you want me to share, please go ahead and email them to me. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate your support and your subscription. It's optional, but I do highly appreciate it. Please like this video if you did, and comment down below what your creepiest ever experience was in your lifetime and what did you do to handle it. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!